Happy to welcome on the Illini Inquirer Podcast, Illinois women's basketball guard Genesis Bryant. I think we can call her fellow media, Genesis Bryant, with her experience with the Big Ten Network. Jen, thanks for joining us. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to talk about this season that you guys have put together because it's been so fun to watch. You guys battle through adversity on your way to another NCAA tournament, potentially a double bye in the Big Ten. Got some work to do there, but
Mhm.
I hate to start heavy here, Jen, but
Mhm.
Senior Day is Sunday as you guys host Michigan. I hope every fan that can shows up and supports a senior class. But
Yeah,
kind of explain the difference of Jen Bryant when she first got to Illinois to Jen Bryant now.
man. I feel like it's like night and day. I feel like when I first got here, my confidence was shot down. A couple months prior to me coming on campus, I was debating whether I want to quit basketball or not. I didn't really feel like I had it in me anymore. I mean, I sat for 2 years. So I feel like I was in a place where this is kind of like my second chance and just second opportunity to do the game, to play the game that I love. And really was just trying to figure things out. I mean, I've been in the South my whole life. I was born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia, went to North Carolina for school. And so I knew nothing about the Midwest at all, honestly. I mean, I didn't know about Illinois was Chicago, and I actually thought this school was in Chicago. But so that's how clueless I was about Illinois and the Midwest. But I just think Jen then to Jen now, which is 3 years later, much more confident, much more dedicated, more disciplined. Have learned a lot, grown a lot. Leadership on and off the court had to grow, especially in the role that I'm in now. Learn how to adapt, learn how to respond, because in these last 3 years, there's been a lot of ups and downs, not only on the court, but off the court as well. And just learning how to respond, learning how to be that adult, learning how to just take the punches of life sometime. And I think college is one of the best years you get to learn that because you're not under the supervision of your parents in high school and things of that nature. So yeah, I just think I'm just more independent and I feel like I am ready to step into that next chapter of my life.
Yeah, obviously everyone doesn't do it at a Big Ten spotlight like you do, but I think everyone kind of goes through that. Not everybody
Mhm.
thrives in it, Jen. Like some people can get beat down by it. So, what was it about Illinois and Shauna Green and this staff and this place and your teammates that allowed you to become better, to improve?
Yeah, I think first off, player development. I feel like a lot of schools don't really focus on player development, even at the highest level, at the Power Five level. And I think as soon as I got on campus, I mean, Coach Mack has been my position coach since I got here. And we have just been consistently in the gym and we have really grown and worked on so many things. I mean, when I first got here, it was all about the basics, just the basics, footwork, shooting, dribbling. There was nothing fancy in our workouts. And then to see our workouts now when we're doing step back threes, doing side steps, I mean, we're doing all these different complex things and getting reps up, but it's like normal now to me. I just think seeing that growth and how much work she has put in with me, Kylie, our strength coach, Autumn, our athletic trainer. I mean, it's definitely a team effort to be the player that I am now. It came from a holistic approach. I mean, even my nutrition, that was a hard one for me just because I really enjoyed food and I really enjoyed just trying different things. And I never look at a calorie count on any kind of meal. So just even her changing my perspective towards food and using it for fuel and energy instead of just enjoyment. I still enjoy food a little bit, but just trying to find that balance, especially in season and off season. But yeah, I think it's from a holistic approach, and a lot of different people have played a role in that.
Jen, I want to talk about this season, and you guys go to LA and you play number 3 and number 4, and those games were a lot closer than what that final score ended up being. I know you guys aren't a moral victory bunch here, but what do you feel like you showed out there against those two teams?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, we know our story this whole year, just with injuries and adversity, and then Jazz going down the game before that. So really, just going out there and saying, okay, this is what we've been doing all year. We're going to continue to do the same thing. And like you said, we made some mistakes down the stretch that kind of allowed the other teams to pull away. So it's like we just clean up a half of those mistakes. That come down to a 1 or 2 possession game in the last 2 minutes or so. So just thinking that knowing that we were that close on their home court, I think that just shows the toughness of this team, but also shows that we have a high ceiling. And if we could just stay together, we could just focus on the little things. Because it's the little things that beat us in that game. I mean, you look at the rebounding battle, you look at the shot attempts. I mean, all those things were pretty even, but it's just like the little things like turnovers and costly like mental mistakes on defense, like the things like that that kind of hurt us in that game. So just really developing that, really getting some rest. I mean, this bye week is so crucial to just our bodies and just our mental, because we've been going this whole month of February. So just being able to get this bye week right before things start ramping up, I think is very crucial for us. And yeah, I think it just gave us confidence that we can hang with anyone in the country, and I feel like we proved that.
I want to, like, we've talked so much about the adversity you guys have dealt with, and I'm curious why this group in particular has been able to weather that. And then, second, like, do you think your first year here as a collective group, you guys would have been able to fight through this in the way that you have?
Man, the short answer no. But I think like you said, because we have been with each other for 3 years now, we know each other. We have so much experience. We know how to talk to one another. We know how to have hard conversations. I think that's one thing that, of course, it grows with time, but we're able to check things in the moment. Like in game, you might see us talking seriously to one another. KB getting on down. I'm talking to Barrier. Just, I feel like there's a common respect for each other, so we know that we're not trying to tear each other down or, trying to do anything negative, but we're really trying to build each other up, and we all want the same goal, which is to win basketball games. So I think once we kind of got that established and got that respect across the board established, I thought we could be more honest. And I think being more honest and being more transparent, that's what, first of all, people know what you expect out of them. So we know each other's expectations. And if we are not meeting those expectations, we know we're going to hear about it. So I think that has been the main thing within this group. And also just how connected we are. Like, I mean, we said we've been saying this all year, but we genuinely enjoy each other. Like in LA, there was big groups of us just going out and going to In and Out and eating like street tacos. And we just did a lot of things together, and we really enjoy each other's time. And it is sad that for us seniors, it is coming to an end, but I can really say I had no regrets while being here, and I enjoyed every moment of it.
Jen, I wanted to ask you, but first, what is the hardest to give up? You're talking about counting calories and all that. What was the hardest for you to give up when you got here?
Oh, the hardest, I would say I really love fried chicken. I
Okay.
think that just being a Southern girl and fried chicken is a staple in most meals, especially like Sunday dinners. Feel like I had to stop going to JJ's. I had to really watch my Chick-fil-A and try to, man, it was hard, y'all, to try to get a grilled chicken sandwich instead of a fried. That's when I knew I was taking this thing serious. So I think the fried chicken, the fried foods was the hardest, definitely.
Well, Jen, obviously, Makara Cook goes out, and she's so important to what you,
Yeah.
you guys have done the last couple of years. And Joey and I are so high on what Gretchen Dolan eventually can be and what she was becoming
Yeah.
this year. That had to be difficult for you guys. And even if it's next woman up, right? You have to have that mentality. And you guys certainly have done that. There has to be a little bit of doubt in your mind at some point about what's going to happen now. When did you know that you guys would be okay and that you guys could still play good basketball and be an NCAA tournament team despite losing two of your best scorers?
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, when we dropped the back-to-back games to Washington and Minnesota, I think it was kind of just like a little bit in panic mode, like, okay, what just happened? Because right before that, I think we only lost to Ohio State.
Mhm.
We was in a very good position, but dropped those two games, back-to-back two games that we could have easily won. It came down to the wire, literally. And I just think that that after the Minnesota loss, that was tough. And then what was even worse, y'all, we got delayed. So our plane got delayed for hours because it was like a snowstorm back in Champaign. So we had to just sit in that loss for a little bit. And we was at the mall, we was at Hibachi. People weren't really talking. The coaches didn't even sit with us. Like they was in another section. And that was pretty tough. I think that loss really hurt because we knew we had them. I mean, we hadn't lost to Minnesota since we've been here as a group in our 3 years. So I think that was kind of like a low moment for us, but I feel like we turned the page. We started working out harder. We was going into a break, so we was able to get more shots up and get our confidence up and really gel together because we hadn't really gelled together up until that point because people were in and out. But I think once we realize, okay, these people are like out for good, I feel like that helps your mental too, like knowing like, okay, this is what it's gotta be, this is what it's going to be. I feel like that helps your body kind of just react to where your mind says. So I would say the low point was definitely after Minnesota, but I feel like we had like a couple days to really just grind together, work together, have some real conversations, and know the expectations of ourselves from not only from us players but from the coaches. And yeah, I think we turned it around from there. So yeah.
Who kind of broke that silence or that kind of, I don't know, sadness, I guess, after Minnesota? I mean, is there anyone who stood up and kind of took over that thing, or was it a group? How'd that go?
Kendall. So we was all in the locker room, and everyone was kind of just like not really talking much, just kind of just like wow, what just happened. And Kendall spoke up very passionately, actually, and just thought about how that was a very winnable game and how we have to do the little things. And can't remember exactly what she said in totality, but KB was the first one to step up and talk. And then I think Dow talked after that. And by that time, the coaches came back in and then they talked. So it was Kendall that kind of broke the ice.
Well, Jen, I know obviously you didn't know a ton about Illinois when you got here. We don't need to rehash where the program was before Shauna Green and before you guys. And not every group gets a chance to turn it around. And I think if
Mhm.
Coach Green had her preference, she wouldn't need another group to turn it around after you guys. So what's it mean to be that core group that kind of fixed this thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's I think that's something that will always be here. Like people going to win more games, they're going to get more points. The statistics are always somebody's always going to break different records and different history at this school. But there's something about being the first, and something about being that program and that core group that turns the program around to where hopefully they never go back down. I mean, as long as Coach Green is here, they're gonna have that one way mentality. So hopefully it consistently continues to go up. But I just think it's beautiful to know that there have been I don't even know how many thousands of players that have came from this program, but there's something special about this group. And this group that have came 2 years, 2.5 years ago to now is leaving and using up all our eligibility to be here and to stay here. And that was a very important thing for us all too, especially as fifth years. We had an opportunity to be a grad student at any other college. So just that we all chose to stay here and be loyal to the program, be loyal to Coach Green. And I feel like it has paid off like this. I feel like this has been the best year yet, even with all the adversity, everything we've been through. I feel like just the way that we're playing and just how connected we are, like this has been the most fun year since I've been here. I think it's just a testament to the character of the people on this team and to just what happens when you do things the right way. And sometimes the right way doesn't get you instant results, but if you just stay the course and just keep being consistent, persistent, it's going to eventually reward you. And I think we are living in those rewards right now.
What makes this the most fun year?
um, I would be lying if I didn't say one was winning. I thought we won a lot of games and won it in different ways and beat those teams when we haven't really been able to beat and get over that hump. Like your Maryland, like at Indiana, like Iowa again. Like those are three games I think we have not been able to like consistently be able to beat those teams. We've been so close to all three of them, but to beat all three of them in the same year, I think that's monumental. I feel like also just how much fun we're having. And I credit the Italy and Greece trip too at the beginning of the I mean at the end of the summer because we spent a lot of time together. I mean, that was 10 days. You overseas, like all you had is really each other, and we had so much fun. I mean, fun with ourselves, fun with the coaching staff. We kind of got to see a different, like, fun side of them, and I think that really genuinely helped our connectivity. That our overseas trip, and really just, I think when you know it's your last year, I feel like you're more present and you stay more in the moment, and I think that's what I've been able to do. And some people, what's next? What's going on? And it's like I generally just say, whatever God has for me. But right now, I'm just focused on just being in the moment. Because when you think too far ahead, you lose the present. And I think that's why I've been really intentional about this year. I think that's why I'm enjoying it so much more.
Obviously, all you five seniors come from different places, right? You come here together, and it's one of the things I love about sports and college sports is people from all these different backgrounds come together and can do something special. So as you see your teammates getting on her, Kendall, who's had an unbelievable year, unbelievable career, Makara, who obviously, the health situation has kept her from playing this year, but I know still part of you. Adalia, man, like what a season she is having, especially the last couple months. Brinshu Pill, we always talk about maybe a little bit underappreciated for what she's doing. So like as you think of all of those girls, like what are you going to think as you see them get on her too next to you?
Man, you're right. Like everyone has grown so much since we first got on campus to where we are at now. And sometimes you don't even see the bigger picture. I think I'll probably reflect more after it's all done. But just being in it and just seeing how the growth steps that everyone has made, and just even in the leadership, like just we take away what they're doing on the court, but just the leadership and that vocal piece. I mean, even Brent speaking up and saying things in the huddle and at practice. Brent wasn't doing that when she first got here, even last year, really. But just see her confidence begin to build up and how she recognized that her voice is important. Because really, those quiet ones are the ones that when they talk, everyone listens because they don't talk much. So it's like what they have to say is important. So I think Brent comes in and does that. I mean, KB has always been a vocal leader since we've been here, but just seeing the growth of everyone and how we have all individually grown, and that's what made this program also grow as well.
I want to go back to the Italy and Greece trip. You said you saw sides of the coaching staff that you hadn't seen before. What did you see? What surprised you about the staff over there?
Oh, great question. I would say we just saw them kind of have like let their hair down a little bit, have fun. I mean, they were in the pool with us, they was in the beach with us. I mean, trying to think, I don't think I've ever seen Coach Green in a swimming suit. So just like seeing them in like other clothes outside, like Illini gear, and seeing them dress up. We were going out to a nice dinner, just being on the beach. I mean, yeah, I just think it was just kind of seeing the. It sounds crazy, but like the human side of them, like just in regular clothes, regular like we're across the water. So it's like they're worried about, Illini fans and things. Even though we did see some Illini fans, but I think just seeing them just be regular humans, regular people, wear swimsuits, like enjoy themselves. And like, yeah, I just think it was just cool to just see them outside the profession, outside of them actually being our coaches, and just seeing them as like regular humans just enjoying themselves.
You kind of touched on this earlier, but I've been wondering, like, if you think back to that first practice you guys were all together, and think back maybe to your most recent one, how different is everything? Like, I feel like I remember Coach Green talking about that first one. You
Mhm.
touched on it, like literally ground zero, like you are starting completely over. So, how much has just that changed over the years?
Man, short answer, a lot. I think our first practice, it was basically a whole new team, a whole new coaching
Mhm.
staff, a whole new just everything. So we just did the very basics, like passing, getting open, dribble, footwork, shots. I'm just like, it's better to play. You want to play 1-on-1, you want to play 5-on-5. Like, you want to kind of progress a little bit, but they made us do the basics for like the first 2 weeks, just nothing but the basics. And I think this is also a testament to how Coach Green coaches is we still do some of that stuff to this day. So we still do a ball transfer drill. We still do dribbling before practice. Like we still do some of those things. And I think that's why we are as good as we are, because we never left the fundamentals or the basics. And we still prioritize doing the little things and the small things, which ultimately is the thing that wins or loses you games. So I think a lot has changed in just our skill and development growth. But I feel like we still do some of the same things that to just fine tune what we have like already embedded in our mind these past 3 years.
Jen, you got a lot of basketball left to play. I know that, but you set such a strong foundation in this program. You guys, the senior class. So I'm wondering, like we talked about Gretchen Dolan, we're really high on for the future. Barry Wallace, what last month she has had. Jasmine playing a bigger role, and I know you guys got some talented freshmen who are coming into the mix already. What do you
Mhm.
think of what the future holds with those players leading the program?
Yeah, the sky's the limit. I mean, they have the talent. I know Gretchen, Corey, Barry, like they're gonna have to really have some strong leadership next year because we are gonna be leaving. So they're gonna have to continue to set the foundation because they are gonna be pretty young with all the freshmen they have coming in. But I mean, even just CC and Erica in practice right now, like they've been on scout team, and a couple times I'm like, hey, like that was a good play, like because you know, when you on scout team, you're trying to beat them, so you kind of forget they're your teammates, and when they score, you get upset. But then, like after you kind of like thinking, like they're gonna be all right. Like they already kind of have it. They have this rawness about them. Where they just playing basketball. And I think that's the best place to be. Like as a freshman, you don't really know much. Like you're just playing the game, and I think sometimes that's what hurts upperclassmen. We start thinking too much, start getting too tense, start worrying about the wrong things, and that's how your plays start declining. So I think just them being so young, I think they're gonna really need some leadership. But I also feel like they can get that piece in and just really grasp the culture. They're gonna be very good just because all the pieces that they have and a healthy Gretchen coming back is hopefully she could be as close to 100%, which is really taking this year, focusing on herself and Jazz and I think they have a lot of good pieces going to be returning, but also be coming in. And I'm excited to see where they take this program as well. Like the keys is in their hands now, and I want them to go far past us. Like continue to break records, continue to put their names in the history books, and to make a difference in this program.
All right, Jen, I've only got two more and we'll get you out of here. I appreciate you taking some time. Midwest was totally new. So what's been your favorite Midwest staple that you've picked up over the last, whether it's somewhere to go eat, whether it's somewhere to go, period? What's been your favorite?
I would definitely say Chicago. I went to Chicago one time, like for an AU tournament when I was younger, but I've been a couple times now, and I love Chicago. I mean, I don't go in the cold though. I go around summer because that 8 month winter is just ridiculous. But
Good summer
I
city.
do. Yeah, definitely. In the summer, it's an amazing city. So I feel like Chicago got some good food. Oh man. And for me being a big foodie, like I have not had a restaurant yet that I was disappointed at Chicago. So I enjoy the food, I enjoy the people, I enjoy the sights and just that river that y'all have. And it's just a really nice city. Like if it wasn't for the cold, that would definitely be a city that I would consider living in if I had the choice, if I could choose where to live. But I really enjoy Chicago.
My last one. We don't meet a lot of media athletes here. So we've talked about why you want to go into that, but how important was doing those two games this
Mm.
season, and how much did that solidify your decision to want to make this a career?
Yeah, man, I'm so blessed to have that opportunity because a lot of people don't get that opportunity. I mean, to still be a collegiate basketball player and be able to, and this, our men are good too. So it's like be able to call a men's game that people really value and a lot of fans watch and go see and put a lot of money, time, and effort into. I think it's first of all a testament to just this program, this school, and how invested they are in their student athletes, but also just grace and mercy and just the blessing to have the opportunity to do that. I mean, that was my first ever game calling a men's basketball game. I had no experience prior to that. There wasn't like a boot camp or anything I went through. Like it was just like go ahead and do you know how to talk about basketball? It's like but there's so many other things that you don't recognize that goes into that. But I think that was a really good resume builder. I mean, something to say like I have this experience as a college athlete and yeah, I met so many people. I've been able to network. I mean, to this day, fans coming. I went to the men's game yesterday, and to this day, fans coming up to me and saying like, "You did so good on that call. Like, I hope you have a great career in broadcasting." And just that they still remember that. I mean, that was early in the season, but that people still remember me for that. And it's like having that. I don't want to say it was a backup plan because I love that as well. But basketball will eventually stop bouncing for me. But knowing that I can go into that career and that could be a very long lasting career that I could do because there's always gonna be basketball playing. So yeah, I just think that was a very good opportunity and I'm just excited to see like how that goes after my basketball career is over.
And it's a career that's got some growth. I mean, the women's game, Jen, is just exploding, and it's awesome to see, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is the perfect time to be a women's basketball player, but also to just be a lover of the women's game. I mean, it on all levels, unrivaled, the WNBA, college basketball. I mean, it's just been skyrocketing.
Well, Genesis Bryant, Illini senior guard, senior day. I encourage everybody that can get to State Farm Center Sunday, 12:30 tip-off against Michigan. Big game for the Illini. Try to get that double bye in the Big Ten tournament as they prepare for the NCAA tournament. Genesis Bryant, appreciate the time.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jen.